Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Layman's Guide to the Multiverse, where we dive between the panels and break through the fourth wall. I am your host, Matt, and this week with me I have Paulo.
Hello.
I have Michael.
Hello.
And I have Edward.
Hello.
I don't like this being introduced first. You got to go back to the old way. You got to introduce me last.
Sure.
Why?
I'll figure that out.
I don't know. It just bothers me. Shut up.
Well, it's a bad taste in my mouth. It makes me feel weird. I got yucky
It
toes.
makes me feel uncomfortable.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yucky toes.
Well, I have to say, guys, after our episode where we talked about comic books that we're reading, I decided to buy a rare piece of comic book history the
Ooh,
other day.
do tell.
And I just got it. It's a very, very special, very rare comic.
It's
It
very
came
expensive.
from the 90s. I must have gotten it for a hell of a bargain. A guy on eBay probably didn't know what he had. I spent like $10 on it. Let me know if you
Pretty
guys
good.
have heard of this comic.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's a big deal. It's called The Death of Superman.
He dies?
I mean, Superman dies in it. I mean, like that comic book characters never die, especially Superman. Man.
That's such a bad name for a comic. That's like calling Old Yeller Dead Dog.
I mean, if anything, what that comic did do is it killed the collectible comic industry.
Ooh, it almost killed. It technically almost started the end of the comic industry.
The death of the comic book industry?
That's really what that should have been called.
That's a good name.
Oh man, no, seriously. Honestly, I knew how worthless that comic book is. I didn't actually buy it. I do remember though working in comic book shops and hearing one of the guys hang up angrily at a customer that was trying to sell him an issue of Death of Superman for $100.
I actually was in my local shop, and there was a guy that came in with his kid and was like, or he was trying to pawn off like a bunch of his comics, and he's like, yeah, I got all the good ones like Maximum Carnage and the Clone Saga and Death of Superman, and I just started laughing. Like I outwardly was laughing. The guy, one of the co-owners of the shops, was like trying not to laugh at him.
Oh my god.
So yeah, I got all the big name ones, all the big deal ones. They're like $100 each, right? And he's like, no, we have like 12 of them in the bin over there. Like,
But that's the
Like,
$100 bin, right?
The only thing that Maximum Carnage did was kill a lot of just regular bystanders.
a bunch of jobbers.
hey, it gave us a really fun 16-bit game.
It did. That
It
beat 'em up
did.
was fun.
Yeah.
Oh,
beat
that
'em up
was
was a lot of
that
fun.
was a lot of fun.
Jesus
Fun.
Christ.
It was hard.
Yeah, Death of Superman is complicated topic.
Can't believe he died.
I mean, okay. Believe it or not, so I think a question that I often ask myself is, do people actually know that Superman died now?
Oh.
I want to say it's common knowledge.
Like, how common knowledge is it nowadays? It's been so long since the death of Superman happened.
What was that, like 91?
93. Yeah, 93.
92, 93.
Well,
Yeah.
spoilers for the movie Batman v Superman, but it happened in that movie, and that wasn't that long ago.
But I'm relatively talking about the comic, though. Like, the comic itself kind of has this impact
Right.
regarding, like, I mean, at the time it was a big deal.
It was a big deal.
It was a
fucking
big
huge.
deal at the time. Yeah.
Dude,
I mean, going
that's
back, that
like-
was huge.
That's like shooting Mickey Mouse in the face.
That's a little
More likely
extreme.
than you think.
That's a little extreme, but
Is it though?
I
Is it, Paula?
absolutely, yes. I do question though.
My sanity for saying some shit like that.
You got
I
to
do
rewatch
too.
Steamboat Willie. It's pretty hardcore.
It's brutal.
Yes.
The part where that tree pulls out that gun.
In either case, though, how much death in comic books did we see? During that time. Like, I have to ask myself, like, was the death of Superman like the first big major death in comic books, or were there more deaths beforehand? Like, I know during Infinite Crisis they killed off Supergirl,
And that was huge.
and that was supposed to be a big deal,
Yeah, there's that iconic pose of Superman holding her and he's crying.
right?
He's a big old bitch, baby. No, he's not.
They've also killed Bucky Barnes, for anybody who is unaware of what we're referring to. Bucky Barnes was the sidekick of Captain America. Yeah, who becomes the Winter. Well, okay, spoilers. He comes back.
Spoilers for the fucking MCU.
Wait a second. He becomes as the Winter Soldier. Wait, did Marvel make a movie on that? I wonder what it was called.
Oh, I hope he wears a jacket. It gets cold in the winter.
Was it Age of Ultron?
Oh,
Call of the Wild.
The Ghost Dimension.
I'm trying to tell a story here.
Captain America 2, Electric Boogaloo.
He comes back, Paulo?
Bucky's back.
Bucky's back.
That's a really weird tagline.
And he's pissed, maybe.
Anyway, so they've killed off. So death in comic books,
yeah, it meant something.
It meant something back then. Like I feel like those storylines kind of did a lot. Like especially when Jean Grey died for the first time in the Dark Phoenix saga.
It was acceptable in the 80s.
You know, in the 80s, she passed away.
I mean, she passed away.
Yeah, just sweetly inside the Phoenix Force.
I mean,
in the ocean.
Her name was Phoenix, and that's kind of what those birds do: is die. Like it's that's their whole gimmick.
Their gimmick is dying and coming back.
Exactly, but that first part has to happen before they come back.
What?
I'm a phoenix. I've never died. Then how do you know?
Robin also dying. Jason Todd, the second Robin, getting murdered by the Joker
with a crowbar. That's important.
Crowbars
are important.
Yes,
they are.
That's a reference to a D&D game.
What?
Oh, wait a second. I get it because crows are related to phoenixes.
Yeah. But those birds stay dead.
Oh.
As far as I know, I don't know.
Then how do you explain the crow?
Oh shit! Maybe that's a mislabeled. He was a phoenix.
What?
Not for nothing, man. That movie's pretty cool.
It holds up.
It does.
Yeah, it does.
It holds up.
It does. Tony Stark has died.
Yeah, a bunch.
Wait,
Tony Stark has died a few times.
He just died? What happened to him?
He was like, I am Iron Man, and then snapped his fingers.
Oh, but he didn't realize he was wearing the glove. Oh no.
Yeah.
He did a remake of Dr. Dolittle and it failed, so Disney took him out back and old yellered him.
Oh yeah. Oh.
They also killed Captain America at one point.
They did.
I remember that. You're talking about in like what, 2009 when they did that?
Yes. I think it was 2009 that was the death of Captain America.
Because I remember we were all still in school together when that happened. And I remember everyone was making a big deal of it because everyone I remember at the time was saying, like, this is like the last character that hasn't died and come back yet.
I think it was like 2007, 2008.
Are we that old? Yep, 2007.
Yes.
Shit world.
See, and the reason I know that, I had a public speaking class, and I forget what the topic was, but I mentioned that. It actually might have been about Captain America, honestly. I'm a fucking nerd. Did you guys know this?
Really?
Yeah.
You should start a comic book podcast.
I should.
That's what real nerds do. And spend $10 for a stale copy of Death and Return of Superman on eBay.
And resell it for $100.
Yes.
Gonna be rich.
Let's fucking go.
I mean,
one of these comic book shops would be dumb enough.
At the time, if they had not done such a huge overproduction of it, you know, that book would probably be worth thousands.
Well, I mean, that was the thing. Like, they knew that people were going to buy that because that was a big deal. Like, and they didn't even. It wasn't like that was a big like reveal at the end of the story. Like the storyline's like literally called "The Death of Superman." If I remember correctly, the like publicity for it was the like bloody, like the bloody Superman logo with the black background. Like they were straight up like Superman's gonna fucking die.
See, and that kills me because like I feel like that would have been so much more interesting if like we didn't know that was going to happen.
Yeah, but the problem was that apparently nobody was buying Superman comics at the time.
So the death was essentially a stunt to sell more comics.
How dare you?
Fair.
My
No, 100%
understanding,
was.
yeah.
The whole thing was a publicity stunt.
Yeah.
Fair.
because they were like, yeah, Superman's gonna die, status quo is gonna change forever. They brought in like I forget if it was like the Quest for Superman, Superman 2, the Quest for Peace.
That was Superman 4. Thank you.
Whatever.
You're
It's
welcome.
fine. Got me. Yeah, but they were like status quo is going to change forever. They introduced Eradicator, Cyborg, Superman, Superboy, and Steel.
Hey, we got a Shaquille O'Neal movie out of that.
We
Oh,
did. I
hell yeah.
remember going to theaters and seeing that as a kid.
Everyone forgets that movie.
No, I don't. I mean, one, because I'm a fucking nerd. But two, I went to see it as a kid thinking it was actually going to be like the character from the comics. It wasn't.
Oh.
They hyped it up in the commercials like it was. I actually never saw that movie.
I think he's just like John Henry Irons in name.
Oh, okay.
Also,
Yeah, 'cause
that steel suit does not look like the steel suit from the comic books. Let's be honest.
No, I vaguely, without like going to look him up, I vaguely remember him looking like RoboCop.
Not even.
No,
Not even. It was bad.
was it bad?
It was
Yeah.
bad. I remember what that looked like. That was bad. I didn't see the movie, but I remember seeing the trailers for it, and
Yeah, same.
my young stupid mind said this is going to be really bad.
Wow.
Not so stupid after all.
Not
eh,
so
Paulo?
stupid.
I remember thinking it was going to look. I remember thinking it looked awesome. I never saw it, but then again, at the time, I loved
Now,
the Batman Forever and Batman. and Robin.
let's
Oh, there
not
you go.
let's
There
not
you go.
forget let's not forget that I am older than you guys. I am the resident old man on the podcast.
Old man.
Oh, man.
Yes, I am older than you. I think by like what 4 or 5 years,
I'm 86.
3 years,
Yeah.
3 years. That's
Yeah,
relatively.
that's significant enough.
That changes your perception of things.
That does.
3 years
does.
will absolutely change your perception of things. Where I was old enough to say, "Wow, Steel looks like shit."
Yeah, I was 9 years old, and I was like, I'm a fan of these
Yeah.
comics. Let's go do that.
Yeah, no, I was old enough to go look at this and say, "Wow, this is going to be really bad." I never want to watch this movie, and I never did.
Oh man.
I never did. But I distinctly remember a movie named Shazam, starring Sinbad.
Yeah, and he's fucking standing there with his arms crossed.
And yes, and he is clearly a fucking genie.
so I never,
He
so I
is
never
a
saw.
genie.
Yeah, I never saw that movie, but I'm like, that's not Shazam.
I did not see that movie either because that movie doesn't exist.
That's true.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it was.
So-
I actually saw the Shaquille O'Neal one in theaters.
Mandela effect.
Yeah, exactly. That's the joke.
In either case, though, so yeah, people in comic books, like back then, used to matter when things died, and I guess that's kind of where it goes into this whole thing with that was just a publicity stunt to get more people, and arguably even the death of Jason Todd was a publicity stunt because if I remember correctly, it was a 900 number that people would have to call
Yeah.
to vote on whether or not
What?
he died. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so if you didn't know, DC had put out a poll at the time, giving you a little backstory of the story. Joker had kidnapped Jason Todd's mother, I think.
Yes.
And then goaded him to show up to go save her. Joker beats him, I think. Or no, I think it ends there with him like showing up. DC started, I think, in the back of that comic, put out like the number and was like, "Hey, do you want Jason to live or die?"
Yeah,
And
there's
fans
there's-
voted.
That's so morbid.
there was two numbers you would call.
Yep.
One for he lives, one for he dies, and apparently the one for he dies barely beat out the he lives number.
Yeah, they actually I forget the artist, but they did like two versions. And they actually used the second one. I believe it was in the comic where he comes back to life. Was it Infinite Crisis where Superboy Prime punches the wall
Yes.
with the fucking wall
Yes,
of the
that is
time?
Infinite Crisis where
and
Superboy
brings him
Prime
back to
punches.
life.
Yes.
So like you actually get to see that image like colored and everything in a comic.
Yes.
But yeah, they did one or the other, whether he lives or he dies. Just in case.
I'm a big fan of what they did for what's it called? The Red Hood movie.
Under the Red Hood? Yeah.
Under the Red Hood. That's
I think
if you haven't seen that, you should go watch that.
I think that's the his canon revival now.
Oh, good. So
I think.
he's crazy because he was in a Lazarus pit.
Yeah. Not that he just like Superboy Prime punched the walls of time and he's just alive again. His comics.
Why
That's-
not?
Yeah, so
Why
like
not?
So like I've been saying, I'm a huge nerd. I don't need a lot in comics to be like, yeah, sure, cool, whatever.
Yeah.
Like you can just be like, how does this guy have powers? A fucking wizard did it. Great.
Shazam.
I don't care. Yeah,
Thor,
cool,
maybe.
awesome. I don't give a
Sometimes.
fuck. That's awesome. Just give me a reason. But for some reason, when like, and it's probably because they teased Jason Todd coming back to life in Hush.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
That
about
I was
that.
like, oh shit. And then like 2 storylines later, they bring Jason back to life, and it's like, well, you could have done it in Hush, and that would have been really fucking cool. But instead, you just do this, like your payoff, like your big like wrestling heel turn, is that Superboy Prime punch the walls of time?
Reality, sir. He punched the walls of reality.
It's bad. I don't care what it is. It's fucking stupid.
It's stupid by comic book standards. That's the standout.
Exactly. Yeah, like that's the thing. It's fucking dumb by comic book standards.
Well, because like that was what was so dumb about Death of Superman was that he didn't, Doomsday comes down, he beats the ever living fuck out of Superman, and then Superman goes, "I wasn't dead, I was in a healing coma."
Yeah, I was tired.
Take a little nappy nap. He had a juice box and some animal crackers.
Yeah. This is what everyone
but
on Krypton does. You don't understand.
Here's the thing though, is that like didn't they do? I remember seeing this at your place, Ed, forever ago. It was like it looked like it was animated in the 70s or the 80s where Superman dies, but he wasn't really dead. He was again in some sort of wacky healing coma in that as well. I'm trying to remember what that show was.
So
I can't remember if
ironically
it was
enough,
Justice Friends.
They
or
did
what.
no, they
Super
actually
Friends?
did. They actually did 2 Death of Superman movies. One that was done to the kind of the Bruce Timm style of Death of animation. I'm sorry, not
Oh, wasn't that like not Superman? It was like Superman Unchained or something.
No, that's part of the new DC movie verse
Who chained
that they
him
did
up?
the animated.
Who was strong enough?
No.
Like, where'd you get those chains?
Spawn.
Hold
Oh,
on. Now you got
That's-
me looking it up because I
that's the
know
crossover
I've
we
seen
need.
2.
That's actually
Right.
interesting. Because like Spawn having all the magic powers and stuff, that actually might work.
yeah.
Right.
Shit.
He's checking up on Superman, make sure he's not in no sleeping coma. He's like, I deal with
Got
the
him.
death shit, Superman. Stop lying. You lie. You're not dead. You're lying.
Cut it out, all right?
Stop it.
And Wake
Okay,
up.
it was in 2007. It was Superman Doomsday. It was called.
There it is.
Yeah, Superman Doomsday was called. So that was the one that was where James Marsters apparently plays Lex Luthor, and Adam Baldwin played Superman. Explain that to me.
Oh, I don't think I want to.
Wait.
Yeah,
Ooh.
no.
This is animated, right?
This is animated. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
good.
Wait,
Yes.
James Marsters is Spike, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
He also played Piccolo in the Dragon Ball Evolution movie.
Ooh, that movie.
Oh god.
Oh yeah.
That movie. Mm.
It-
Apparently, okay. So from what I have heard, to chime in on this, from what I have heard,
The Dragon Ball Evolution?
the
I
Dragon
can
Ball
tell you
Evolution
about
movie.
that.
No. He got really, really into the role of Piccolo. Like he was super into it. Like he was
Oh,
super trying to hard sell that role. Like he
Oh,
was really
no.
into it.
yeah. Hell
oh,
yeah.
sweetie.
He even
Yeah.
learned
No.
the Piccolo. What a flautist.
Like his lines, he is all in. Like 100%. I'm doing this evil alien Namek Green Man, Namekian type dude.
Wait, is flautist the real way to pronounce that?
I maybe.
Because I'm in. I love it. I mean, I'm here for this.
I mean, yeah, but flautist. Why not? Let's make it happen. Flautist 2020. Big flautist energy.
Yo, I'm all about big flautist.
I'm gonna-
Paulo.
No, in either case, no. That was just that I was gonna go with. So like that was the first animated version of the Death of Superman with Superman Doomsday. And that's probably the one you're referring to, Matt, when you're talking about that when we watched that, because I feel like I watched that with you guys.
No, this was from the 80s.
I think you're
Wow.
thinking of like a Super Friends episode or something.
It was a Super Friends.
Is it they did a Super Friends episode where they killed Superman?
I forget if he actually gets killed or if they feint him being killed, or if it was
Right.
a setup.
He lies
I think
I
again.
couldn't
the latter.
remember.
He lies again.
I think it was
Wow,
a setup.
Superman really is a dick.
Just
Huh?
a big old liar.
Hey, go to supermanasadick.com.
Probably one of the best Superman death fake outs that they ever did was the Justice League episode where Toyman kills Superman.
Oh, and they're looking for it's like a two-parter, and they're looking for a
Yes.
replacement. And
Yes.
fucking Lobo shows up.
Yes, and it turns out that Superman is not dead, but he gets time shifted to the future.
Oh, and he's hanging out with fucking Vandal Savage.
Yeah. Yeah,
That one was cool.
that's a great episode. Like, I'm sorry, you should just stop listening to the podcast, go watch that episode and come back.
I wouldn't say stop. I would just say pause it.
Well, play them both at the same time at max volume. Just really disrupt your neighbors, whatever
Just-
you're doing. Yeah.
Figure
Just-
out how to multitask 2 pieces of audio at once.
Yeah.
Consider this a director's commentary.
Ooh. Oh man, look at Vandal's beard. Isn't that baller?
Oh man, is it
No.
the end credits already? What? I think we need to
That
sync
was
up
a
our
quick
play.
That was just an hour of television. That wasn't even a movie. Why are we giving director's commentary to this?
Oh, that was a quick episode.
Oh boy, what time flies? When
Did
you're dead.
they killed Wonder Woman?
So does Superman.
Huh?
Wait, did they kill Wonder Woman right now?
Have they killed Wonder Woman?
I mean, so pretty much every big name superhero has died once in some like big storyline. Like all of like the main league, like quote unquote Magnificent Seven Justice Leaguers, they've all died at least a handful of times.
No, you're right. You're right.
I mean, we were talking about the Obsidian Age before we started. So like they all died there.
Yeah.
Nightwing had his backup Justice League beeper. It's good.
So what you're trying to tell us is that as much as death in comics once at some point mattered, you're saying death in comics don't fucking matter anymore?
Oh, you can blame. I mean, we've been talking about Superman. Yeah, it's the death of Superman. Like that shit fucking mattered when he died. And I say that because like people around like it was a like top story on the news, CNN.
Yeah,
Superman.
because it was like exactly because it was a publicity stunt.
They held a fucking funeral.
Yeah,
And
People-
I
people
don't
didn't
just mean in the
know.
comic.
if you read comics, you knew it was a publicity stunt. You knew he was coming back. If you didn't read comics, you just heard that Superman is dead.
I mean, as a kid, I was like, whoa, wait, what? We're doing what now?
See, I feel like that was during the time that I wasn't reading comics as heavily as you were.
Oh, I was fucking 5. This is 93. I was like, wait, what? Wait, we're killing Superman?
What? What?
Oh, fucking Bone Hulk beat Superman to death. Oh, okay.
Bone
All right.
Hulk.
I mean, tell me Doomsday is not just Bone Hulk.
No, you're totally 100% right.
He really is.
It really is, though.
But
Yeah.
I also kind of want to add that I don't think it's not only the death of Superman that kind of caused things to not matter in comics. It's just the nature of the serialized, the way comics are made. Like if
Oh,
Superman
100%.
died and then that was it, they had to write a new character, that shit would have mattered. But comics
Yeah.
don't allow that, you know?
No, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, having characters like a Superman or a Batman or a Captain America or an Iron Man, where they kind of rely on those characters for sales.
Yeah.
Like being a I hate to bring up wrestling terms, but having them be like the Hulk Hogan or the Rock or John Cena.
Yeah.
A flagship.
Yeah. I mean, but what's different with comic books and characters like that? They're your flagship characters forever, unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, it'd
Yeah.
be super cool, like, if they finally did, like, okay, no, this character's done, and then, but that would be impossible because
I
like,
mean,
they need
they-
to make
they-
money still, right?
Listen. For the longest time, they did specifically for just like a couple of characters were always dead. Like it was kind of like an unwritten rule in comics that
Oh yeah.
you don't bring these characters back.
Right.
And then, times change and you get really good storylines.
So are any characters' deaths sacred, would you say?
Long neck.
We do
all-
stand long neck.
We do stand long neck.
Yeah.
All right, so for those of you who don't know, long neck is the only reason I know this is because of a stupid YouTube video
How dare you?
that just
Stupid.
It's
You gotta
not
look up
stupid,
Long
it's
Neck
not
right
stupid,
now.
It's amazing. Long neck was a mutant whose mutant ability was
Was?
he had a long neck. Yes, was because he is now dead.
What?
Um,
did somebody break his neck?
Yeah,
Or
actually,
did somebody shoot him in the head?
hold on. Are you ready for this? And I think this
No.
is where we go to commercials when I tell you this.
Ooh.
You're calling your shot.
Yeah, I am. He died during House of M. At the end of House of M, when the Scarlet Witch says no more mutants, he loses his powers, so his neck snaps back to like its short stance. But because it snaps back too hard, it breaks his neck and he dies.
What?
We'll be back.
Long neck.
Okay, and we are back. All right. Well, we spent the last half hour talking about a lot of Death of Superman, and we're basically kind of lamenting how apparently throughout the 80s, if they killed off a character, it was usually a big deal, and then the 90s kind of used it as a excuse to sell comic books, and it in no way, shape, or form backfired.
Yeah, everything's going great.
Yeah,
Everything went great. They're still selling millions of comics of each issue every day.
Yeah, every single day.
Every day.
Millions and millions and millions of comics.
Millions of comics. I mean, it's, I'm pretty sure most comic books these days sell 1 million issues like they were in 1995.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Exactly.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
No.
I got to stop being sarcastic on this podcast because you can't see my face.
I mean, like
but you're saying the
we
truth.
Yeah, we can hear it.
Our listening base is seriously going to think I'm dumb enough to spend $10 on Death of Superman.
But you're gonna be rich.
You're gonna resell it for so many
this
dollars.
is an amazing investment opportunity, is what it is. Amazing investment opportunity, because he's dead and we're never going to see him again.
No, never.
Until next issue.
Yeah.
The Layman's Guide to Multi-Level Marketing Selling Old Issues.
Ooh.
Love it.
Ooh.
Love it.
I do like that.
I'll be honest with you, I've lost track of how many characters have died and come back.
Yeah, Superman's the one I know, right? But how many, besides Phoenix? I know Phoenix, death's in the gimmick. But who else? Who else has died?
So Jason Todd has died.
Of course,
like we said,
yes.
Bucky
With the
Barnes
curl
has
bar.
died.
Got that.
Another Robin actually died.
Okay, so you want to?
What's her name?
Stephanie Brown.
Stephanie Brown. Stephanie Brown's another.
They faked her death.
Wait,
Okay.
Stephanie Brown?
Yeah, Stephanie Brown. But they faked her
Who?
death.
I don't know that.
She was the fourth Robin. So she took.
Technically, yeah.
Yeah, technically, she took over the Robin mantle after Tim Drake. I forget why Tim Drake stopped being Robin in the first place.
Tim Drake stopped being Robin for a cup of coffee because he was like, I don't want, or it was right after Sue Dibney died, and he was like, I don't want people to go after my dad.
That's another death. No, she came back, right? Sue Dibney came back too, right?
I think technically in the new 52 reboot.
Okay. Well, that's fine. Anyway, Sue
But she
Dibney's another character that died
Yeah,
horrifically.
she's Ralph Dibney's the elongated man. It's her wife. She died pretty horrifically, and Ralph spent a good part of 52 trying to bring her back to life.
Right. That was actually so. She's one of those examples of fridging.
Fridging?
Fridging.
Oof.
Yeah,
that is from comics.
Yes,
It is,
that is actually specifically from comics. It's the idea that a woman is pretty much killed off, or pretty much any character really, but more specifically women, is killed off as the catalyst for moving the plot for a male character, for a male superhero.
Right.
And it comes from a villain literally stuffing Kyle Rayner, Green Lantern's girlfriend, into a fridge.
And is it?
Oh, yeah. We talked about that in the Green Lantern episode.
Yeah. But isn't the gimmick also that the female character has no character other than dying? Like she does shit, like she's a blank slate and it's like,
Yep.
oh no, she's dead and I'm sad now. Like,
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. But that's the thing. Stephanie Brown was not a fridging situation. She actually
No.
was a major character.
Right.
Yes, correct.
So she was not one of those situations.
Yeah, the whole circumstance for her becoming Robin and then dying was super interesting. Because Tim Drake Robin stops being Robin, like I said, for
Cup of
really
coffee.
just-
Yeah.
I mean, A, a cup of coffee, but B, to just stay home and kind of hang out with his dad, be a normal kid.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah, so Bruce is kind of pissed off about it, right? And he's like, "Hey, your girlfriend's Robin now."
What?
Pretty
Pretty
sick,
much.
pretty sick, right?
Ironic. So here's the thing, though. Ironically enough, she became a superhero kind of in her own right
Mhm.
by becoming Spoiler. Because and the reason she took the name Spoiler is because she is the daughter of what's his name, Cluemaster? What's his name?
Yes.
I think his name is Cluemaster.
I don't even know who that is.
It's a
master
fucking
clue.
C-list Batman. He's a wannabe Riddler.
Like
That's how bad
Clue
he-
Master?
Yeah. Hold on, spoilers.
Dude, I do not want to play against that guy in a game of Clue.
He wins
I don't
first
wanna-
throw of every time.
I don't want to talk to him about any show I haven't seen at all.
But he's very good at giving clues. He's the master.
He's a wannabe. He's a wannabe Riddler. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, his name is Clue Master.
I was born to Crystal Brown and Clue Master, Arthur
Please,
Brown.
please tell me that the character spoiler drives around like a Mitsubishi like Lancia with those huge ass spoilers on the back.
It's pretty amazing, but no.
I love
No,
it.
she becomes a really interesting character. She actually, aside from Batgirl, she's the only other aside from Barbara Gordon, she's the only Batgirl that I have actually enjoyed reading about. Because there are multiple people who have been Batgirl as well.
Yeah.
So she ends up, so after her resurrection, so to speak, which ends up being
Yeah, she never actually died. It was like her death was really or what's it
Cover
called? If Bruce made Stephanie Brown Robin to get back at Tim, oh geez, her name just went out of my head. Leslie Thompson faked Stephanie Brown's death as a way to get back at Bruce, to be like, don't do shit like that. It's super petty. The whole thing is so petty. It's so stupid.
Well, it was also, if I remember correctly, it was also to get her away from her father, and I think it was also to just kind of get her out of the life. She was, I think at one point they were gonna make it so she was pregnant with that whole situation. But like I said, I guess, comic books, sometimes they don't want to touch on this kind of thing, and then they end up bringing her back. She comes back. She takes over. Right? No, she takes over as Batgirl.
She does.
She takes over as Batgirl for a long time. She has a on and off book with Supergirl, which is probably some of the better Batgirl Supergirl storylines. But it was really good. I was a big fan. And then I was kind of upset when she was no longer Batgirl. So the costume was really cool looking too.
Yeah, the costume was really cool. That was an interesting. Maybe interesting is the wrong word. Because she just stops being Batgirl because of the new 52 reboot.
Mm-hmm.
So they're still running like Batman Inc. at that point, and Batman Inc. was I'm trying to think how I can put Batman Inc. without like in a sentence or two.
It was where Batman fights a giant squid that shoots ink.
It's just Batman outsourced, right?
You're not wrong.
Yeah,
you're not wrong.
There you go.
Yeah, it's Bruce Wayne taking the Batman concept of criminals are a superstitious and cowardly lot, and they need a symbol to fear. So instead of just having that in Gotham, he was picking people to do that around the world.
Yeah, he's selling his brand. Like
to be bat
people.
Yeah, bat people, pretty much in other parts of the world. Like I think the Spanish one was Bat Crusader or something like that. I forget what the heck he was called. Murcielago or something.
Batman.
No, but it's funny that you bringing up Batman Inc. Batman Inc. actually comes about as a result of Bruce Wayne's death when he died in the death of he died at the end of Final Crisis.
Mm-hmm.
Or as it turns out, it actually ends up getting shot through time by Darkseid's Omega beams.
It's so stupid and it's so awesome.
Yeah,
it's the dumbest shit, but it's so much fun.
Yeah.
It's Quantum Leap, man. It's
that's literally what he does. Yeah, that's literally what happens to him. He quantum leaps his way back to the present. Tim Drake finds him
practically to the future, actually.
Yeah.
So he quantum leaps his way all the way to the not Vanishing Point. Yeah, no, he quantum leaps his way all the way to Vanishing Point, which is just like a point at like right before, a couple seconds before like the heat death of the universe. Booster Gold, Superman, and Green Lantern, Hal Jordan show up to stop him from like I forget if it's resetting the universe or what, but like one of the women that he meets during his like jump back through, he had fallen in love with, and he's like doing everything now for her.
It was like that's another big storyline that they use. That was one of those things that like you don't see coming, that he's actually going to get killed at the end of Final Crisis, but then you see him still alive at the end of it, and you're just like, oh man, this is gonna be great. So that he dies from that, and in Batman Inc. actually his son Damian dies fighting a cloned version of himself that's bigger and stronger.
I forgot about that.
Yep.
So
Damian dies during Batman Inc.
Damian! Like, I feel like these big crossover events are opportunities to just kind of kill characters. They raise the stakes that way.
I mean, that's generally how they raise the stakes in most of these crossovers is by killing a major character.
Yeah, I literally was just gonna say that like nowadays, like where back in like the 60s, 70s, 80s, all that jazz, like you would only really see characters like I was saying, die to like bolster someone's backstory or to really drive the point home that shit got real. And then they wouldn't bring these people back. They were just dead for years and years and years and years and years and years. And it wasn't until, Superman dying and then him coming back like short of a year later, like he wasn't dead very long.
I mean, but at the same time, though, they weren't killing off major A-tier characters.
Correct.
That's true. Well, actually, do you think maybe it's because the comics got a little bit self-serious that the death was a thing? Because I'm kind of looking at some of these deaths, like say of Superman, for example, and he died in the Golden and Silver Age, but maybe for like an issue, but he came back at the end. But death wasn't. It was like a silly thing. It's like, oh no, Superman's dead, and like, oh no, he's back by the end of the issue.
Well, because the Silver Age was relatively a very silly time for comics.
I know, but I'm saying like this death, but this death thing, the self-seriousness kind of like, I don't want to. It sounds silly, but sucked the fun out of death, right?
I definitely feel as though the 90s changed comics in a big way. And the catalyst for that, a lot of people say, is both the death of Superman and The Dark Knight Returns.
Right. Yeah, Dark Knight Returns.
Because The Dark Knight Returns is one of those like major turning points where comics are no longer kind of just a joke, but they're more seriousness. And arguably, like when Denny O'Neil took over for Batman, is a lot of when Batman started to get a little bit less jokey.
Right.
And more about, the Joker's more of a fucking sinister villain. His characters are actually killing people and whatnot.
He was also detecting a little more too.
Yes. Yes.
I was going to say that you could argue that Watchmen helped start that trend too, because that was before Dark Knight Returns.
Oh yeah, that's right. Watchmen did that too. Watchmen did a lot
that
of that.
That book was like that. That's one of that's one of the reasons that book is so important. Like you didn't nobody saw that shit coming.
Yeah.
Fair, I'll give it that.
At the same time, though, the Watchmen can get away with it though, because it was kind of in its own isolated little universe, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, absolutely.
Oh no, it definitely was. That was the point of that book. Alan Moore was like, "Hey, I have this really sick idea with the Charleston characters. So, like the Question and Blue Beetle and Captain Atom, all those guys." He's like, "Yeah, I got a really cool idea, but I have to kill them at the end of the I'm killing half of them."
Yeah.
And DC was like, "Well, we just bought them, so no." But I like the idea, so give us new characters. So we did.
See, what's interesting about that is so far we've talked about big impacts in DC. I can't think of when that happened at Marvel.
What do you mean? Oh, like a death would like a super serious thing?
Well, so Marvel has killed off characters numerous times,
right?
Well, left and right, and that's kind of where I was going with the, nowadays they'll kill off a character. Like they'll literally kill off a character just to put over their villain, like the new villain of the big crossover.
Yeah,
like they literally will do that shit in like pro wrestling terms. Like how do you get a new big bad guy over? And by over I mean like get him popular or get the reader or the viewer to take him seriously. You have to kill somebody.
Kill a major character, yeah.
Yeah, so like characters like unfortunately like a Martian Manhunter, like the last maybe 10 years or so, that's kind of all he was used for, because like Martian Manhunter is a big powerful dude. He's essentially Superman with fucking telepathy.
Yeah,
he'll mind fuck you and you're done. How do you stop that? You just have somebody rip him in half and light him on fire.
Wait a second, you're telling me that they warped Martian Manhunter?
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, they definitely warped Martian Manhunter. But like you can arguably say that
like a Red Tornado or Vision.
Even the
Captain
MCU,
Atom.
they did that to Vision. No one cares about Vision.
Exactly. You know what the worst part is? Hold on, no, time out. The worst part is Vision is actually such an interesting character if you read Tom King's run.
I was going to
say
he's an interesting character written by Tom King.
Yes, that's exactly what I was going to say, because that's the only book so far that I've ever read him in where he's actually interesting, and he doesn't do any superheroing. Okay, the whole premise of that book is Tom King putting the Vision down and saying he wants to have a family. And so he builds himself a family.
That's equal parts adorable and sad. decision.
That is
what
that
a
is
big dumb
that
robot.
is that is what happens in that book, and that book is fantastic, and I recommend it to everyone to go read that book.
It is
Okay.
literally on my to read pile.
It
Okay.
should be top of your to read pile. You definitely need to read it, Mike. Like you
Okay,
for
yeah,
real
I'm-
would
I'm-
totally dig that.
I'm all about like the down to earth superheroes. Like I love Matt Fraction's Hawkeye, so I'm all about it.
Oh my god, Matt Fraction's Hawkeye is so good.
Yeah,
Another
exactly.
character who's died, I believe. Hawkeye died.
Oh
once or
no!
twice.
Don't even get me started
Oh,
about
yeah.
fucking Hawkeye.
Why?
Holy
Well, please,
shit.
I don't know.
Oh,
Please,
no.
Holy
I
shit!
need to
It's so
know.
fucking
I
stupid.
need to know.
Yeah.
Like, did he shoot?
Oh
like,
my god!
was he holding his bow backwards? What happened?
No, you know what? It's like that, I'd be okay with that.
okay with that?
So you know how like Hawkeye's got a quiver, right?
I'm a big
Yeah.
fan. Big
I
fan.
mean, so he's got like a quick release thing that he can just hit and it falls off him. But even so, you can still take the thing off your shoulder, right?
Ideally.
So Paulo, you were talking. Was it earlier? You were talking about I was gonna say no more mutants. House of M.
Scarlet Witch, yeah.
Scarlet Witch. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the storyline before, or the storyline where she goes crazy, Avengers Disassembled. She goes nuts and her chaos magic's going crazy and things are just going bad for the Avengers. So like the Kree show up and I think they're fighting. No, yeah. The Kree show up and now the Avengers are trying to stop them. And Ultron also shows up and uses some like prime directive or something he had hidden in Vision like a billion years ago.
He meant
so-
candidated him.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, that's exactly what he does.
Yeah.
So there's like it's just a bad day. Like the Avengers are just having a bad time. So they're trying to fight off, like they're trying to have this big battle on all these fronts, and I think also,
Not like this.
and like I think also She-Hulk like hulks out, so like shit's going on with her too. Like it's bad. It's a bad time. So somewhere in this fight, Hawkeye gets his fucking quiver lit on fire, and like him and through this battle, him and Captain America just fucking lock eyes, right? And they're both just real fucking sad about it. And Hawkeye's like, no, not like this. And he jumps into a like I forget if it's a
He
Quinjet
grabs
or if
a
he grabs one of the
Kree.
Kree.
He
Yeah.
grabs a Kree.
who's got a jetpack and he hits the button on the jetpack and they just fly up into like one of the Quinjet, I think that like an
Kree
Ultron
ships,
guy.
yeah.
Yeah, or like one of the Kree ships. I'm sorry, this is from memory. And it explodes. And then he's just dead. He's just dead for like a decade. Just take the stupid thing off, you idiot. Like
That is
like I don't get mad at comics too much, but like Superboy Prime punching the wall all the time and the way Hawkeye dies in Avengers Disassembled pissed me off.
Oh my god.
I
That's
just
so
posted
it's
it, yeah.
so dumb. Not like this,
No,
not like this. Hawkeye like this.
It's a how-to
Oh,
video.
I don't know what's
dumb.
worse though. Like that or just like the look they share. Like they're just sad that they can't make out one last time. Like
Gonna have to resurrect Bucky, I guess.
oh my god.
how dare Steve Rogers not smooch Bucky?
They got to smooch.
Yeah, I provided the image for you guys
Oh my
of when they're
God.
locking up.
This art is very
This is-
bad.
Wow.
No, and that's kind of the bummer of this is that like David Finch, who did the artwork, is really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not good at people crying.
He's not good in and again, Avengers Disassembled does some neat things, but it's Bendis. Where like Bendis is super hit or miss.
Right. And this is a miss.
Well, yeah.
This storyline's not great. This is also the same storyline where like before this fight, Tony Stark, who's a member of the UN, is just drunk again. Like he's just magically drunk.
He magic. Oh man, he got that magic liquor. I'm about that.
Well, he's in front of the UN, and I forget what he's proposing. But you know, Scarlet Witch is going crazy with her chaos magic, and he's just drunk. Like
Hang on.
he just starts slurring his words
Hang
and
on a
starts like
second.
making awful like racist comments towards other countries.
Oh, God.
I'm going to say, in all my years of reading Iron Man comics, which is only like 2, nothing good ever happens when he's in front of the UN. Because it's always Iron Man's in front of the UN, and then shit blows up.
Yeah. It's always an
Okay.
excuse for bad things to happen.
Hold on, I'm gonna trigger Ed right now. Like
He
I'm
keeps
gonna
giving bad people good ideas.
trigger him right now because I found the actual full page of how he just
Yeah,
gets
it's
shot by a
stupid.
laser beam.
Oh, is that what it? Oh, yeah, here
and it
is.
just lights on fire.
Wait, is that the entire sequence? No,
That is
okay.
the sequence.
Wait.
That is the sequence.
Wow.
That is the sequence
Uh-huh.
of what lights his backpack on fire, his quiver on fire.
Yeah, and I mean, and you can clearly see that there's like a like. So there's not even like a quick release thing on this. He's just got it strapped to his back.
Yeah. If only he was like Green Arrow, he would definitely have like a sprinkler arrow, and he'd just fire it. And...
See, Ollie comes prepared.
yeah.
Ollie hums his own theme music. Come on.
He does.
There's an episode of Justice League where he actually
There
he fires his arrow and he comes swinging down on the rope arrow that he just shot, and he's like dun 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 dun, and it's the music that plays whenever he shows up.
Well, was it that, or was it the intro theme?
No, it's
The cartoon.
it's his theme. It's the little theme song that they play whenever he shows up.
I gotta rewatch Justice League
That's
Unlimited.
amazing. That
Oh
scene
my
is fantastic. And then he just kicks a guy in the fucking face and jumps into a submarine.
Yeah, Hawkeye's got to step up his arrow game for real.
Right? No, and if we're gonna be talking about death and Green Arrow, Green Arrow dying, like Ollie dying, was a big deal in the 90s.
Oh
Kevin, so Kevin Smith brought him back to life
Oh.
in a pretty stupid way.
Wait, the same Kevin Smith that made Batman shit his pants that one episode?
Not shit his pants. He had a bladder spasm and peed himself.
Oh, I don't remember.
How dare you?
Big difference.
Yeah, huge.
It's
difference,
just
right?
one off, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. So I forget how Ollie dies, but his son Connor takes up the mantle.
Connor
And
Hawk.
yes. But what?
Tool bag.
Oh, okay. How dare you?
Hey.
No, yeah. I mean, going from this like I don't want to say billionaire playboy, but like Ollie's not the best person, but I think that's what makes him interesting.
Right. Piece of shit with a heart of gold.
Exactly, because like womanizing's not the right word. But he can't keep his arrow in his quiver.
Oh, there we go.
Let's
Yeah,
go.
which actually leads to I forget if it's his niece or his cousin, but Black Light. Ollie ends up sleeping with Black Lightning's either cousin or niece, and
Oh,
she ends
no.
up she ends up getting fridged.
Oh.
Oh no.
I mean, not actually get stuffed into a fridge, but she gets hung by that story's like big bad guy. Again, to kind of put him over to show you how evil he is. I'm sorry. Going back to Kevin Smith bringing him back to life.
Yes.
He gets brought back to life. I forget if it's by Hal Jordan Spectre, but the way that they do it is like there's like Green Arrow DNA on Superman's cape.
Wait, he doesn't just magic him back to life? Like, I would accept that.
And Superman
But
doesn't wash his
But
cape.
that's how yeah, exactly.
How
These
does
are all
Hal
valid.
Queen DNA
these are all- These
bring
are all
him
valid.
on
These
Super-
are all valid questions.
I would much rather like his son crafted an arrow out of the Necronomicon and shot it into his grave.
Right?
I mean,
that's baller as shit.
it worked in Alien 4, okay?
His
So
Necronomicon arrow.
Resurrect my dad.
That would be better than I'm so upset right now. Like, I'm triggered because I didn't know that. I thought Hal Jordan, I thought the Spectre Hal Jordan brought him back because he missed his friend and thought he died a hero, so he would bring him back. That would be cool. That would be something worth of like Hal Jordan fucking doing to try to make up for the bullshit he did as Parallax. But no, you're telling me that Oliver Queen DNA was on Superman's cape?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, he jizzed all over his cape, man. Like, it was very bad.
How did he die? How did he die? Did he explode all over Superman?
no, not like this.
Not like this!
Did he get Hawkeyed?
I'm looking because I don't remember. I think he died in like one of the 90s crossovers in space.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
he was unprepared.
Oh,
I can't
no.
find it offhand, which is kind of annoying. I can find the memorial where like the fucking Detroit League's hanging out with Snapper Carr.
What? what words did you say? What is
Snapper car.
All right, so
Is that a
there was
fish?
point. There was a point in I think it was the 80s that I'm sorry, I don't think it was the Detroit League. It was the Justice League International. If I remember right, had a mascot named Snapper Carr.
what is
It was just a
Snapper
dude.
Car?
He was just a dude who snapped.
Oh, that's good.
Wow. Yeah.
Oh, he bled to death.
Oh, did he?
Yes.
What caused the bleeding?
In space, somebody shot him.
How anticlimactic.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, so he gets shot in space. He bleeds all over Superman's cape, and if I remember correctly, the Spectre brings him back to life.
If only he didn't get shot when he was in space. He totally could have survived in a vacuum of space.
you could have. You think he'd survive longer because blood just stays in there. Gravity is what makes it pour out of you, right? So like without gravity, it's just
Ooh.
kind of it's floating there. You
Yeah,
just push it back in.
Exactly.
Yeah,
He would have a chance to say not like this.
yeah,
Wait, no, he wouldn't because his voice wouldn't travel in space.
yeah. In space, no one can hear you scream. I know that.
In space, no one can hear you scream not like this.
Not like this. Now look into my eyes while I jetpack away.
So have there been any so Ed, help me out here. Have there been any speaking of death in the Spectre, Hal Jordan, another character who just fucking died.
No,
Like he dies as a villain.
Why?
And then gets brought back by Jeff Johns.
No.
Which is probably arguably one of the better fucking returns of a superhero that had died.
Yeah, I mean, it is and it isn't. I mean, we've had this conversation that, like, in a vacuum, Hal Jordan's heel turn is the shit, and then him die, like him dying to reignite the sun is pretty fucking cool. And he was dead for a long time. Like they made him the Spectre, so he's still kind of around, but he was dead because he was the Spectre. You kind of need to be dead to be the Spectre.
He's like a Grim Reaper type.
He's
The Spectre is the spirit of vengeance.
Yes, I was gonna say he's like the right hand of Old Testament God.
Oh, fun.
So like if you want to know how powerful that guy is.
Yeah, he has to be the Spectre has to be hosted by someone who was wrongfully murdered or dies in a state of like desiring vengeance. And that's how you pretty much become the host of the Spectre. And pretty much you go around trying to just, fucking take revenge on people.
What's neat about Hal Jordan Spectre is he ends up turning it into the spirit of redemption because he wants to be redeemed for all the terrible things he did as Parallax.
So he's kind of cleaning up his own messes.
Yes.
Yeah.
But he even in death has the willpower to change the Old Testament God's right hand of vengeance
Into redemption.
into redemption.
Yeah.
Which
It's-
is probably one of the most comic book bullshit sentences I've ever said.
What a class act.
Right?
Well, you said a bunch of comic book bullshit this time, like punching the wall of reality, not like this.
And people are like, what do you mean you're a bigger DC fan? Not like this.
Not like this.
I mean, on the plus side, so Marvel has done some okay kind of like death returns. I mean, I don't want to talk about Jean Grey much because that is a dead horse that I don't want to beat anymore.
Paulo, what is
She's
it?
coming back. The dead horse is going to be fine. You can beat a live horse.
No, she's alive again now. She's alive now.
Oh, her Scott and Wolverine are in a poly relationship now.
It's hot.
That's
Ooh,
fine.
getting with the times.
That is what's up. Finally, Wolverine getting at that.
Yeah, man. He's also
Um,
banging Cyclops.
Hell
he
yeah.
died. He died recently too.
Ooh, Cyclops?
Cyclops.
Well,
Yes.
they all died.
Yeah, they killed off Cyclops for a little while.
Spoilers. They killed all the X-Men and brought them back in weird eggs.
Oh,
That's fun.
spoilers.
That's fun.
The X-Men are technically immortal now. Or at least the last time I read the X-Men comics, they were. I have to catch up.
That'll probably change. It's comics.
Why?
Well, no, so that was actually really neat because what they did was they kind of set it up so that mutants are kind of downloadable, so to speak.
Oh,
So like what they do is using the combined powers of like 5 mutants and Professor Xavier and Cerebro, they constantly, anytime they go on missions, they back up their brain wavelengths into Cerebro.
The X-Men are
Alright.
saved on the cloud. Like,
Yeah.
Xavier into the mutant cloud.
Yeah.
And if they die, which in one of the missions, which is really fucking cool, by the way, in that
Yeah.
book, they die.
That was cool.
They all die.
Brutally.
It's a suicide mission. Brutally all die. And what they do is they pretty much clone their bodies, reclone their DNA, age them up to the age that they were at, and Professor Xavier re-downloads their save point into their brains.
So what you're telling me is that even though he's dead, we could get that long neck DLC?
we could get the long neck.
Wait a second. Would they? Oh man, it's too bad they don't have the memories from when they died, because
They do.
then
They do. No, they don't. They don't.
Oh, they don't. That's right.
No, they don't
No,
remember
be-
what happened in the mission.
no, because that would oh god, that would be the whole how machine learning works. Is you have a bot, you have a bot that programs other bots, then the one bot that makes it a little bit further than the other bot, you base the next bot off of that one.
Oh, you mean like what they did with Doomsday and how he
Oh,
would
the
just
ultimate
continuously die?
baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say Battlestar Galactica and the Cylons, but actually, yeah, Doomsday actually is an apt comparison.
What is this? This is a comic book podcast. We don't talk about robots here.
What? What?
We've never talked about anything that isn't a comic book on this podcast ever.
That is
Ever.
true. That is true. Anything with
Ever.
pictures in print is a comic book, though. So
Oh, Battlestar Galactica has had comic books.
yeah, you see,
Booyah! There you go.
Sick.
We're
Yeah.
safe.
There you go.
We're safe.
everything
There you go.
has had a comic book. Everything.
You're probably not wrong.
Yeah.
You're not.
Like-
I mean, I have a Pacific Rim trade paperback.
There we go. My trip to the grocery store last week, that has a comic book.
I'd read that.
I mean, if I'm honest, even we have had a death that is meaningless because someone else just came back and was resurrected as somebody else.
Holy shit.
You talking about Jesus?
I think we should wrap it up, guys.
Good night, everybody.
Have a good night.
Have a good night.
All of the music that you have heard is the song Dance Rocket off the album Descent of the Goober Monster by Jesse Spillane. It is licensed under an Attribution 4.0 International CC by 4.0 license off freemusicarchive.org. If you have a question, a topic you would like us to cover, or simply wish to tell us all of the facts that we have screwed up, feel free to email us at laymansguidetothemultiverse@gmail.com. Also, feel free to visit us at our website at laymansguidetothemultiverse.com.